All right, welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be going over Seneca's moral letter to Lucilius, letter 34, and this is on a promising pupil. This is a fairly short one, so this will be a quick one today. So he says here in verse 1, I grow in spirit and leap for joy and shake off my years, and my blood runs warm again. Whenever I understand from your actions and your letters how far you have outdone yourself. For as to the ordinary man, you left him in the rear long ago. If the farmer is pleased when his tree develops so that it bears fruit, if the shepherd takes pleasure in the increase of his flock, if every man regards his pupil as though he discerned in him his own early manhood, what then do you think are the feelings of those who have trained a mind and molded a young idea when they see it suddenly grow to maturity? So obviously this first verse is just him praising Lucilius, right? He's very excited for, this is a letter of encouragement to Lucilius because he's excited that he's learned, right? And what he's saying here is he's saying like, look, the best joy that a teacher can have is for their student to grow and mature, and he's saying that it's basically like you've outdone yourself. You have left so many other people behind, and I'm proud of you, right? That's essentially what he's saying here. Okay. Now in verse 2 he says, I claim you for myself. You are my handiwork. When I saw your abilities, I laid my hand upon you. I exhorted you. I applied the goad and did not permit you to march lazily, but roused you continually. And now I do the same. But this time I am cheering on one who is in the race, and so in turn cheers me on. So, he's basically saying, look, I was the one who found you. I'm going to claim the results of this, right? He's saying you're my handiwork. All right. I saw your abilities, and I lifted you up. I pressed you to keep on going, and now that you're in this race, now you're actually cheering me on, and so it goes, right? And he says in verse 3, what else do you want of me then, you ask? The will is still mine. Well, the will in this case is almost everything, and not merely the half as in the proverb, a task once begun is half done. It is more than half, for the matter of which we speak is determined by the soul. Hence, it is that the larger part of goodness is the will to become good. You know what I mean by a good man? One who is complete, finished, whom no constraint or need can render bad. Okay, so let's break this down because this one's a little bit more complicated. So he's saying, what else do you want of me then, you ask? Okay, so all right, so I've done all these things. I'm in the race. You just praised me. So what else? Right? So the will is still mine. Okay, he's saying I still am focusing towards this goal. So then he's saying, okay, well, in response to this, well, the will in this case is almost everything. So the will that you have to succeed, the way that you're going down this path, it's almost everything, and not merely half, as in the proverb. So there's this proverb: a task once begun is half done. Okay, and he's saying that it's not actually half of it. Okay, it's more than half. Okay, and the reason why is for the matter of which we speak is determined by the soul. So the matter of which we speak is determined by the soul. So there's a footnote here where it says, the proverb may apply to tasks which a man performs with his hands, but is an understatement when applied to the tasks of the soul. Okay, so he's saying that this proverb that they had of once a task once begun is half done. Okay, he's saying that this proverb applies to like work that you do. Okay, but when you apply it to the soul, once you've actually committed down this path on the soul, it's more than half done, right? Because just aligning yourself with this truth, that's already taking you almost all the way there, right? And he says here that hence it is the larger part of goodness. It is that the larger part of goodness is the will to become good. So he's saying here, right, is that the biggest thing about it is just the will. So if you want to improve, if you want to become good, if you understand this, that's the larger part of it. You're already almost there just by wanting it. Most people don't want to become good, right? And he says, you know what I mean by a good man? He asks the question. One who is complete, finished. Okay. So we've talked about this before, this idea of being finished, of being complete, of being able to not need more years in your life, right? And he says, whom no constraint or need can render bad. So this is the situation where you're content, right? The tranquility that the Stoics seek, where you have that happiness. You don't need other things in your life, right? And so what he's saying here, if we kind of break down or combine all of this, is that he's asking, then asking this this question, what else do you want of me? And he's answering this and saying, look, the thing is, you're already pretty much there, right? All you have to do is what you're already doing, right? You don't actually need more. Like, you have this will, and that's the most important thing, right? And it does make the task way more than half done. Just seeking to be good is bringing you to that level of goodness. So let's move on to verse 4. And he says here, I see such a person in you, if only you go steadily on and bend to your task and see to it that all your actions and words harmonize and correspond with each other and are stamped in the same mold. If a man's acts are out of harmony, his soul is crooked. Farewell. So his final note to Lucilius here, he's given him this praise, is he says, I see that. I can see you becoming this man who is complete, finished. Okay, the only thing you have to do is to go steadily on and bend to your task. Okay, and see that your actions and words harmonize and correspond with each other, that they're stamped in the same mold. So as long as what you're saying you're doing, you're good. Because he says if a man's acts are out of harmony, his soul is crooked. So if what you're doing doesn't match your words, then you're in trouble. But as long as that's what's happening, we're good to go. All right, that's it for today, and I will see you tomorrow.